Atlantic studio. A little later on, we'll put the necessary phone number up where you will have the opportunity to call in. So I want to welcome all our viewers, our listeners, those who continue to tune in to get the facts as to what is taking place within the Twin Island Republic. Welcome, welcome. And of course, we want to also say blessed good afternoon to the Honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and of course taking the opportunity at the same time to shout the douglAR out. Yes, douglAR, blessing, blessing. So today, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we will continue to disseminate some facts to you into your hearing. And of course, we know that things, it is not as we would expect it to be. One, and two, it is also not appropriate. Right, so we want to welcome you. We want to welcome each and everyone to the program this afternoon. We are coming out of Atlantic Studio, and we are locked in and locked on to the U97.5 douglAR Radio FM. In the studio there, it's none other than the original Corky D. And of course, in Atlantic Studio here is none other than Archie, the man himself, who controls the button and do his thing and shift his thing and ensure that his thing is up and running so that you can get the facts as we bring it to you. And of course, this afternoon as usual, I want to say, well, I saw a press release from the Office of the Prime Minister stating that the Prime Minister is here. And of course, he will be leaving for Suriname sometime tomorrow. Of course, I would have expected that the Prime Minister, who have been out of the country, out of touch, out of sync for a number of weeks, I would have believed that coming in, as the press release state, he came in last night, I would have really believed that some sort of press conference would have taken place at the Piako International Airport, the airport that the Prime Minister once considered to be a cowshed. And while he considered it to be a cowshed, the airport was awarded, yes, a big award for the airport as one of the best in this part of the hemisphere. But as we know, sometimes when the fox could not get the grapes, the fox will always refer to the grapes as being sour. And I am certain if Rowley had built that airport, he would have rated, as he continues to rate the non-performance, the incompetence of himself together with his ministers. But I would have believed, nevertheless, that if he entered in last night as the press release would have stated, then we should have already heard something from the Prime Minister who was missing in action for all these weeks. Won't you agree? Wouldn't you agree, Trinidad and Tobago? So we wait. We are hearing that some press conference will be coming very soon. So we are wait to hear what he have to say to you, the people. And I don't know, it may very well be the usual. What is the usual? the usual is the amount of rubbish that he speak into your hearing on these press conferences. So I believe it will be the usual, and of course the usual to the usual is to blame the opposition. You know, probably the opposition had him to stay so long outside, and probably the opposition did not secure a flight for him to return, and probably the opposition had muted all phone calls from wherever he were to hear, and probably the opposition have removed the internet, and probably the opposition have asked the pilots and so on, and the various companies not to allow him on a flight to return. So I will wait to hear what comes out of his mouth. Added to that, there is a number of rumors, there is a number of issues that is at hand. My sources in the PNM tell me that one of the welcome back whenever he returned, if he did return in fact last night, is that my sources is saying that they want to ask him to step down. My sources also tell me that the plan that we had revealed months ago, we had revealed a plan right here on this platform where we said to you that we have information that the Prime Minister may very well soon be seeking to become the next president of the Twin Island Republic. Added to that, my source also tell me that there is a lobby that is taking place at this time, and while some would be lobbying for Beckers, there is others who lobbying for the great old Stuarty, and then some also lobbying for Faris. So that's the information from my source. But I am looking into all these allegations, and I'm asking myself, why would Keith Christopher Rowley seek to become the president of the Trinidad and Tobago? Sorry, I am wondering, because by Rowley conduct and by Rowley disposition, I know for a fact that you cannot see anything close to presidential material. But be that as it may, what we have experienced in the president's house for these past couple of years, then I realized that anything could become the president of this country. And someone may very well ask, well, Victor Robets, why are you so critical about the president and the conduct of Keith Rowley? Well, I will tell you. One, let's start with Keith Rowley. A prime minister of any country ought to set the standard of dignity. The standard must be at that place where it cannot be eroded very easily, and it must also be a challenge for those who may seek to sit on that chair to come to standard, to come up to par with the example that was set. And added to that, a prime minister ought to set the stage whereby the ambition of our students should be that of wanting to emanate, wanting to be like, wanting to become a prime minister. But what we have seen from 2015 to now, we have seen where the behavior and the conduct of this prime minister, it sent a different signal in that you would not hear any student speaking of wanting to be like Keith Rowley. You will not hear any student saying that I want to be like Mike. You know, that's what that were old saying, you know, I want to be like Mike. You will not hear, ladies and gentlemen, as early as kindergarten and as late as tertiary, you will not hear students saying that they want to emulate, for a better word, the prime minister, that they want to be like this prime minister. As a matter of fact, I am not even hearing these students speaking about, I want to become a politician. And why? And I will tell you why. The reason why is simply because the precedent that have been set by this administration, I know in the past that we have had issues along the way as we manage the affairs of this country. But never before, never ever in our history, we have seen such a behavior by a prime minister of a country that even the international community looking into the conduct, I mean, even as far, or I should say as near as CARICOM, and you will understand that the CARICOM leaders of this country, they have demonstrated that they are totally dissatisfied with the conduct of this prime minister, even while he was sitting in the chair as the chairman of CARICOM. His behavior was not that of becoming a prime minister. And today it's no different. We have seen the behavior of our prime minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, during the pandemic. The way in which that he abused his authority, the way in which the way in which he speak to senior citizens and citizens of this country on a whole, the language that he used to get across his point at various times and on various occasions, we have seen a total breakdown of the standard that was set by future prime ministers in the way in which they discharge their authority and the way in which they discharge their language over the years in this country. We have seen a total breakdown. We have seen a behavior. We have seen the abuse. We have seen the way in which this prime minister had degraded the office of the prime minister simply by his conduct. Whether it be on the golf course, whether it be in relation to which he described our women of our society, the way in which he speak to the young people, the example that he have set by putting those in charge to administer, to encourage, to build up the young people by appointing a minister of youth affairs, who have had several allegations, damning allegations against him as far back as even while he was a senator back in 2019 and before. And yet, even though the Prime Minister would have been privy to the information that comes out from an authentic unit as the special branch, which is attached within the TTPS, and the work, the clinical work that the special branch do on behalf of this country, whether it be government ministers, government senators, opposition members, senators, whether it be people who sits within the public sector, even the private sector, even within religious organizations and trade unions, and every entity that exists within our country, when the call or when the suspicion arises, the special branch will kick in first gear, and they will investigate to ensure that the people who stand up, the people who comes to the political arena, that things are above board. And therefore, any form of allegations of corruptions or association, whether it be with terrorist organization, gangsters, or drug dealers, the special branch will put together their report and submit that report. That report, most of the time, every time, it plays a part of the information within the National Security Council that the Prime Minister is also aware of what is taking place within this country. And we have seen that while this report was submitted, stamp and mark, classify, or top secret, whichever word you are comfortable with, but nevertheless, that report was privy to the Prime Minister, and yet to the end of the day, while all these investigations were taking place, and while there were information in relation to that minister Cummins, Foster Cummins, yet to the end of the day, while Foster Cummins tell us at one point in time whether or not he was aware of any such investigation, I am saying today that the Prime Minister were privy to that information. And if the Prime Minister were to set the example where our students, our children of this country will want to emulate a Prime Minister, then the Prime Minister would have never appointed Foster Cummins to fight an election, much less give him a portfolio and place him as a high-ranking member of the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. That is where we are. That is where we are. And why, ladies and gentlemen, why with all these allegations from legitimate units, legitimate investigative bodies within the TTPS, whether it be the anti-corruption unit or whatever unit, today, while these investigations are going on because of that red flag, yet to the end of the day, the Prime Minister would not do the honorable thing and remove Foster Cummins until these investigations are concluded. Why? That's the million-dollar question. Why? Why would a Prime Minister allow this behavior to continue while the subject is a matter, the subject in a matter of fact, is the subject of several police investigations. This is the degrading. This is the, what word I could use inside there apart from disappointing. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have to accept, not by our choice, but because of our vote. And I know you will tell me, that you didn't vote for that. But as we always say on this side, that voting have consequences. And this is the consequence for your vote, for your action. And it will continue for your inaction. It will continue. And this is where we are. This is where we are. We have seen, ladies and gentlemen, that there is another investigation with a lady. The lady who controls the woman arm of the PNM. Some people call that group FAB. Why they call it FAB, I don't know. But some people call that group FAB. But that controller of that group, there is an investigation. Look how far back. An investigation in relation to some cash in a bank. Today, we are seeing that that individual is also a high-ranking minister in the cabinet of Keith Rowley. There is also another investigation into a documentation that had surfaced in relation to the Queen's convicted counsel, Vincent Nelson. A document that the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP, said to this country, he alone has the authority to prepare and agree to such conditions with any witness. Today, ladies and gentlemen, while they remove Faris Alwari from the Attorney General position, yet still he holds a ministerial portfolio. Now we have an Attorney General who ought to be the subject of another investigation, not only locally but internationally. But yet still, you will very well hear whenever Rowley decide to utter rubbish in a press conference, you will hear the defense. You will hear the defense. I am telling you beforehand. You will hear the defense of the Attorney General who just lie a U.S. court. Mark what I am telling you here today. You will hear the defense by the Prime Minister in that matter. Write it down. And this is what the Prime Minister condones. The Prime Minister condones Rohan Sinanan, Stuart Young, Al-Wari himself. Recusal after recusal. Why would there be such a word as recusal when the cabinet sits to administrate on your behalf? The reason for that word recusal is when there is a matter that comes up in the parliament where either one of these individuals have a vested financial interest. Let me say it again. Whenever a matter comes up within the parliamentary system, the cabinet, either of these individuals who will have a vested financial interest, they step outside. The rest of those cabinet ministers vote, and let me tell you, vote in favor. Yeah. One step outside the door, the rest of them vote in favor, and then one step back in and wait to collect the just due from that vote, where they or their friends or their family or their financiers benefit your taxpayer dollar. That is why that word recusal is inside there. That's all. A man just get up, walk outside, close the door. The rest say, I in favor that Faris Al-Wari continue to get 1 million point whatever per year rental. And Faris come back in and he wait to collect a check. That is how the game work. And here what is the sad part about that? Put together, we have had just about 100 recusal. Put Faris, Rowley, Sinanan, all of them together. So it is a game we used to play a long time. They call in and out the dusty window, in and out the dusty window. I know you can remember that game. So they go in, and when it's time to collect the dust, they step out, and when they come back in, the dust go to the bank. And while that is happening, you ought to remember that they collect a monthly salary. Added to that monthly salary, they collect their perks. What is this big thing they call perks? That is pittance, cash, that goes alongside their salary, where some of them will have free iron riot yet. You know what is a free iron riot yet? That is free fuel. Iron riot yet. I raise it. Once they in riot. Twice they in riot. 3 times stay in riot, I will very well raise it again. They get that perk. You know what is another perk? What you can get. They get tax-free importation. Yeah, listen, man. They're getting, apart from the recusal, where they're raking a bundle of hard, rough cash. Some of them get free fuel. They import any vehicle, a vehicle that you can't even pronounce the name, a vehicle in your lifetime you probably will never see in real. They bring it to this country tax free. Listen what I'm saying. Tax free. Some of them have a Benz for Monday. They have a Audi for Tuesday. They have some Prado for Friday, for Wednesday. And Thursday and Friday, well, they're bringing something for the woman. Or in some case for the man. Things that you will never be able to get in this country, they bring it in. Welcome, caller.
Yes, it's a Silver Fox.
Fox, you're early on the job, boy.
Yes, man. I'm here. Let me tell you something. The first thing, command, first thing that all them say about them is 20 propaganda. 90% liars per se. And the liars tell us something. We might like Bouger. We mightn't like how Camilla go to Bouger. But let me tell you, you have to forgive. But don't say Camilla forget. You have to forgive. If God was to go forgive all of us, all of we would have dead today. All of us would not be here. We don't have to agree with Bouger, but let me follow him and get Raoul out. Raoul is the problem. Bouger is not the problem. Let me get Raoul out. Let me get Raoul out of power. It's time enough. Raoul only going from plane to plane. Raoul live on a plane. Eh? It's the first prime minister that traveling and we don't know what's going on. Eh? Raoul has to go. Raoul has to go. Raoul has to go. He has to have the belly in this country. We only talk. Let me stop the talking and start the action. Raoul has to go. Trinidadians, we have to get up. We have to get up. Put the fire in our belly. Just the fire all the one. Just the fire. Raoul is a human being. I tell you that last night. Raoul is not different from you and me. Raoul go in the bathroom just like me. Raoul go just like me. Raoul paint the clothes just like me. Raoul is a human. What are you afraid about that black man? Eh? What are you afraid of black man about? What are you talking about? Raoul ain't no one damn thing. Raoul has to go to people to get what he think is. Raoul is not good. Raoul is not good. Raoul ain't no big over man. Raoul, who's you? Raoul can stop in? Eh? Raoul can only talk stupidness for man. They talk about to be going as well. Look, the fox here talking about it. They do the fox something. Look, the fox here. Fox don't afraid him. I don't afraid him. I don't afraid him. Raoul is a dog. Raoul is a Tobago dog. Raoul, I don't know how to describe that man. Raoul, get out of there. We don't like you, boy. We don't like you. We hate you. We hate you, Raoul. We hate you. Come out of us. The dirtiness. Thank you.
Fox, you're blazing, my Fox, boy. You're blazing. Thank you, Fox. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So, added to what Raoul is saying,
So added to what Fox is saying,
Raoul is a dog. Raoul is a Tobago dog. Raoul is a Tobago dog. Raoul is a dog. Raoul is a Tobago dog. We hate you. We hate you. Come out of us. The dirtiness. Thank you.
Fox, you're blazing, my Fox, boy. You're blazing.
Yeah, man.
So added to Any vehicle that they want to bring to this country, they bring it tax-free. They pays no phone bill. You pay the tax on the vehicle for them. You pay their phone bill. They do what they want. They go to the best restaurant, swipe a card, eat and drink, and be merry. With you, the people of this country, vote. They use that finger that you use to put them in office. I can't tell you. I would never tell you what they do with that same finger to you. Just can't tell you. And that is what we continue to support. That is what we support. They have everything. They raise the money as they want, as they feel. And while they're raising your money, they're offering you 2%. While they're raising their money by 60 and 70%, they're offering you 2%. And then they tell you, the country, we don't have money. That is what they tell you. But they live nice. They eat nice. They buy the best clothes. They drive the best vehicle. They taking your taxpayer gas and full them tank. They having a time. They on the golf course enjoying themselves, playing golf, drinking scotch, eating shrimps, while you cannot even play a game of marble pitch. You hear what I'm saying? That is what they are doing to you. And while they do that to you, every Monday morning, they will take up a mic and they will call the PNM press. They will call the PNM journalists. They will have them to ask PNM questions. They would not ask questions in the interest of you, the people. They will not answer questions in your interest. So the PNM press will ask PNM questions, and then you will get the PNM answer. What is the PNM answer? Promise that never materialize. That is what you get. Promise. Nice talk. That is what you get all the time. That is what they do to you. And the day you feel that you ain't satisfied, then they buff you, insult your intelligence, and put you in a corner to kneel down on a grater with 2 stones in your hand in the air. That is what they do to you. And on top of that, they will still tell you, when your hand tired, you could boil the stone and drink the water. While they enjoy the cream of the crop. You think they care about your roads? They don't care. You think they care about your cost of living? They don't care. You think they want to put any subsidy on flour? They don't care. A matter of fact, Imber tell you point blank that they will continue to remove the subsidy since back in 2015. But now some of the people in this country so dotish and idiotic. Like Olenieme. Some of the people in this country so dotish and idiotic that they will never go back and visit Imber's statement. But they will now stand up and tell you that it's because of the war in Ukraine that the fuel price have to go up. And you, so dotish, you selling that same narrative to your friends and your family. If you are to go back to many of the budget speeches, you will see where the government had took a position since back in 2015 to continue to remove the subsidy of the fuel price. But you are so convinced. You are so convinced by the Jews from the Balizé that you are telling people that the price had to raise because it's a global problem. Oh, such idiots. Oh, such idiots. Global problem. Global problem. 3 times it raised. I ain't hearing earlier. Was there a global problem? Was there a global problem the first time when he raised it? Was there a global problem the second time he raised it? Was there a global problem the third time he raised it? But there's a global problem now, and you buy that, and you selling that to your own people, notwithstanding that you can. You know what I see this morning? I see an ex-petrochem worker shut down by this traffic light in Santa Flora. And when I thought that I could have stopped to render some assistance, when I saw that gentleman take out a gas pan out his car and hiking a ride to go around the corner by the gas station, I was so ashamed, I drive off. I didn't even want him to see that I see the condition that he in today. And you know what eventually happened? He crossed the road and he started walking to reach the gas station. That is where an ex-petrochem worker reach in this country. And you will help sell the narrative. You will help sell the narrative. I remember he said to me once, he said, Roberts, I's a PNM, you know. I go vote for you, you know, but I's a PNM because you're a good boy. You're a good boy. But today, I saw him with a red container. That is PNM. And he going to buy red gas. That is PNM. And he going to pay a price that he never paid between 2010 and 2015. That is PNM. And to the end of the day, he can shut down by the side of the road. That is PNM. That is what they do to you. While they enjoy everything, we heard Rowley said, Trinidad and Tobago have the best health care in this part of the hemisphere. But guess what? He going to United States to get checkup. He going to the United States to run tests. He going to the United States to see what happened by the honey goat weed that he was taking all the time. The honey goat weed, like it didn't work. So he gone to see what help he could get to help himself as a result of the effects of the honey goat weed. But we have the best health care. And you people in this country, you satisfy with that. That is where we are. That is what we accepting. And there is something else that you will have to accept. And I will come to that just about around 7:30, 8. I will deal with that next subject. But this is where we are. Nobody wants to be a prime minister from our schools. Nobody wants to become a prime minister from within our universities. Nobody boasting, because we are ashamed for what we have sitting in the chair in that office that we call the prime minister office. And if you are not ashamed then it's because you're shameless. Anytime you is not ashamed of who is sitting in that chair as Prime Minister, then you are a shameless individual. Because nobody, absolutely nobody, will accept what we get in at that Prime Minister office for governance at this time. Welcome, caller.
Hey, Mr. Roberts, good night.
Yes, sir, good night.
How are you going?
Good, my brother.
Everything you're talking there, I was listening to a program this morning too. All this thing where you got community and there is gas, rowdy who are hungry, who are working on nothing. And these people are getting no convictions. So they don't care about the roads or nothing. You know what the scripture say about that? When they do all these things and they get no conviction, then the Spirit of God leaves them.
Wow.
They have nothing in them. It's as simple as that.
Empty vessels.
Yes, they come like the walking dead. They're looking like they're living, but they're really dead, you know. They come like walking dead.
Yeah.
So how can anybody be operating like that and then get any conviction by look that boy and no cookies or that person? Them going through. They are long to go again. Once the Holy Spirit leads you, you know what we are. They have no protection whatsoever. Right?
Correct.
So they're like walking dead people. It's as simple as that. They don't know, you know. They themselves let out the Holy Spirit out of the body by the action. Years ago, when farmers flood out, they were telling me to give them $26 for the pack of seed with the plant. As well as them $100,000. Right?
Right.
They're not now. The Spirit of God leaves them a long time. This morning on the go report, so that was talking that, and I said they're correct. That's what's going on with them.
Wow.
It can have no other explanation, Mr. Robert. Have no other explanation.
Yeah.
People go up a hamper, they're calling them greedy. I mean, come on, man. But you know your Bible tells you that. When you see one thing not getting conviction for this kind of rowdy, I don't care who hungry. I give me a break when who hungry. But I'm telling you, you're not dealing with normal people like it. Right? Thanks for the call.
Thank you, caller.
Right.
Well. So the number to call is 3735488. 3735488. That's the number to call if you want to get in your comments. So, welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Roberts. At last I got you. How are you keeping?
Good. Beautiful,
Good.
Anna.
Let me tell you, I do not know if you pay attention to anybody else. Rowley came in last night, I understand. But we didn't hear a peep from him. Now, when Mrs. Blessed come back in the country, all the journalists up in the airport with his microphone shove up in the lady's face, asking all kind of questions, and she stand up and she answering all the questions.
Right.
I wonder what happened with Rowley. We ain't hearing nothing. I know he went away. He said he went to see about the medical. Did he check up in his throat to see what is wrong with his throat? It is that they moved the voice box that time we're not hearing him, Mr. Robert. What is going on in this country? And you want to be president?
Wow.
President of what? Of what? Well, God help us, boy. I will hope you don't reach that stage. You all have a blessed night.
Thank you very much, caller. And later on, just about 7:30, I will tell you why it is important to become president. I will tell you why. But this is where we are. This is where we are. We have seen one of the Prime Minister friend arrested a couple days ago for passing his firearm to someone who is not the holder of a FUL, transferring his firearm. Coming out of that, the police said that they received further information and they went to family member house where they seized 800 rounds of ammunition and 27 assorted weapons. All right. Beautiful weapons, man. Nice thing, man. Nice thing. What's the kind of animals that sit down there? Welcome, caller. What's the weapons? Actually, put it back up there. Let us see now, man. Let us see the kind of beautiful weapons. What's these kind of animals? All make, all size. I seen something quite down in the back there and all looking like a AR-15. Weapons like that. Weapons like that. See something looking like a Uzi there and all. Something looking like a MP5 and all rest along there. Shotguns, magazines, handguns. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And that is the Prime Minister friend, eh? That is a friend of the Prime Minister. I think the police supposed to be searching all the friends at the Prime Minister houses. All. Welcome, caller.
Night, sir.
Yes, sir. Good night.
I just want to know something.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe not. I don't know what topic you're really on, but I just want to enlighten me on something.
Yeah, you go ahead.
The Prime Minister just opened some booths by Carnac Center under the name of Fish Fry.
Right?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a relative that went through all the protests because he has an aunt that died and left 3 children. And he went at all the protests to try to secure a booth. They call him and let him know that everything that is being selected, only to know that somebody that is a councillor actually live on the same street. And if you ask that young woman how much people live on that street, she will tell you that she don't know.
Wow.
Only to know that she found out, tell him if he signed under one of his relatives. He said, but how could I sign under one of my relatives?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what they're saying. He signed under one of his relatives. You know what that woman did? The relative that she's talking about is his relative. The guy's girlfriend was up and down with her for the campaign. For the election campaign.
Right.
So now when he's waiting now, no keys. You know them that get the keys? They are the ones that get the keys.
Wow.
And he wanted us to help out his grandchildren. Yes? I said, what a way of doing things in Trinidad, boy.
Well.
Get police record. You get went for the food, what they call it? With the health. He went definitely in Mr. Rowley's office, you know. And was get selected, you know. You don't know they still became pan across the road. You don't know the young man out of that.
Tell me something.
And those are children that the government take away the grant.
Tell me something.
The mother passed away 5 years now. They take away the grant because they say the grandmother getting pension. Yeah? 5 years now and they take away the grant. Yeah?
Caller, so sorry to hear that.
Oh yes, Mr. Robert. Yes, thanks a lot.
Thank you, caller.
You have a blessed weekend. Okay, all right.
Sorry to hear that, caller. Very, very sorry to hear that. But that is how sad it is in this country. It is so sad that sometimes when people talk about it, you feel the pain that they feel in those circumstances. Really, really sorry to hear that. But what more can I say? What can I say? So this gentleman here, Mr. Lane, that you're seeing here, smiling with Keith Rowley, good partner. I want the police to search all the houses of Keith Rowley, friend and them. Yes. Go up in Mayaro, search that building up there. Because you see, if Rowley friend could be privileged enough to have these type of weapons, I am seeing things there that we could start a civil war in this country. So I am wondering how much of the Prime Minister friends have this kind of arsenal? That is what I wonder, I know. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Victor. Good night, Kokidi, and good night to Archie, and good night to all the other listeners.
Good night, good night.
What I'd like to know is what this man is saying. This man is coming under intensive and international investigation. How his actions were thought today, and how he represents us in this country as a people that he hold great authority of. Wow. Where do we stand? How are we going to address this? By sitting down, by listening, and when our bread basket is depleting, where are we? For the meanwhile, I thank you all.
Thank you, caller. So actually, I now see a pop-up picture there. So the man and Faris is partner too?
Remember, one of the things that came out was the police said that they received calls from higher police to release these men. What kind of thing is that?
Well, I was raising that topic yesterday, and I am saying that these police officers who tried to pervert the course of justice, they should have been arrested already. They should have been arrested already. They should be saying down close to where them thing and them is. Because if Faris' friend and the Prime Minister, you see, it seems, this bring me back to something, you know. I wonder if the alleged machine guns that Faris alleged children, or if he don't know that his children had, I wonder if they get them guns and then borrow from this gentleman. I had to wonder now. Because what's the kind of weapons? Welcome, caller.
Good night, comrade. Good night, Archie. Archie, hear what's going on?
Good night.
Good night. Hear what's going on? You know, you sell a check for me in America, and my brother get, but they talk about misappropriate and misbehavior. You sell the check for my brother. You know, my wife walking and minding me by she got a contract to pressure wash the stadium by, and you know, Mr. Robert said by, them men and them wife minding them. Because Farah's wife is a big lawyer. Keith Rowley's wife is a big lawyer. Them minding them by them and I'm screwing with a parliamentarian pretend by. But you know, you see where that guns on them coming from? And we just ask the question, how it reaching the country? Right. And our next talk show host said that Gary Griffith, you see how that gun on there? The license to drive. The Gary Griffith, everyone have license. You see how people just come up and Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Roberts, you was talking about it. That when people, they come out and stand up and send a message and give these people them the way. Right? In there, the wife pressure washing all over the place and the contracts. But I will remind you, it had a Uzi that was fighting in Balsay, you know. And that man was a next big fella too, you know. He was a project manager. But I forget too. He don't get Balsay, but I think he received. So, custom and exile. So you see how things is coming. And we see the whole, correctly dust now. So, but Mr. Roberts,
yes.
Which part we have scientists in Trinidad, there's deal with the ozone layer. It's in California and NASA there. Because their scientists seen about the ozone and the big black hole in the atmosphere. So that way he had to go for NASA people to say about the black hole and the honey goat weed. I hear him went and move the DNA from his body. So that when he released the file, the pedophile ring file, and the testing, they'll see that they can't find no evidence. Have a nice night.
Thank you, caller. So that you answer another scene at the end there? Kazem Hussein at the end there with Alwari and Damian Ling. So Trinidad, yes, that is what I'm saying. So you see how much good friends that this man, well, the police had to search everybody's house. Search all of them house, because let me tell you something. What one man doing with all them weapons? Is it, well, it leave me to believe
Birds
that,
of a feather.
right, these weapons can be rented out, because if the police hold a next man with one of he gun, he say he going to pee or he going to use the washroom, and he get the man he going to hold. Well, I lost. I really lost here now. Welcome, Gola.
Good evening, Mr. Robert.
Go ahead, Sadaroti.
Today, Gary Griffith, the Honorable former commissioner, I still gave him a little bit up here, admitted on a regular program talk show that the FUS given to that man, most of it was approved by his predecessor. He only gave a few. No, the fact it has so much guns. What is that gentleman using it for? That is what we have to do. And then the other part of the thing is the policemen who called in to have him released. Who would those policemen? I think the press is misleading us and trying to put us in a particular direction. And that is not right. No, let me come to the vaccine agent themselves. Why dodging the public so? Why dodging the press so? When he came from his big meeting with the Ayatollah, remember he dodged it? He didn't want to answer question on Paria because the same night everything was happening down in Paria when they snuffed the air out of the tank and the fellas and them unfortunate demise. No, he come back and he ducking and he running. And it appears that it's going down to those countries that the Calcutta ship landed. And he looked like he wanted to bring back the Calcutta ship. He went to Guyana. He went to Suriname. What the Calcutta ship has so much on it now? It has plenty oil or what? So he gone and cap in hand out the bag. Why don't carry Lovell Francis to apologize? Remember, Lovell Francis said UNC lose the election in Guyana. He should be riding certain with that man. I go and have a nice season.
So what's this pit here? What's this pit here? And let we examine some of them guns and them there. Who children is this? Who children is this? That is what I want you to be able to tell me. Who children is this? And if that is Faris Alwari children, that is another investigation that they say continuing. But I'm watching here, boy. I ain't seen that kind of gun there. You know, I seen one looking like it, you know. Yeah, right there. I seen one looking like it. That black one there, yes, that one right there, yeah, that one. That one there looking like one, boy. That looking like one. That looking like one. Anyhow. So that is Faris partner. That Kazim Hussein partner. That Keith Rowley partner. I wonder how much partner he have that had the same amount of guns that he had. That's why I want to know. Watch, look at there. Look at there. Welcome, Kola.
Yeah, but, Victor, very quickly again. You see what happened in Ukraine and Russia? Right here we talk about land grabbing. And what is happening in Russia and Ukraine is the president of Russia is land grabbing.
Right.
And depriving the people of the fundamental rights and the democracy and sovereignty, because he's going back after all of them that Russia after. We have to be careful. Thank you.
Well, I think we have to be more than careful, because if this is the friends of the Prime Minister of this country, and the Prime Minister boasts that he have a few friends, because I know he tell us that Bash A.V. Drilling is his personal friend. So I wonder if the police search by A.V. Drilling to see if he have the same thing that this friend that the Prime Minister have. You see, I trying to put the whole scenario together. So if this is the Prime Minister friend and these is the kind of friends that the Prime Minister have, who could have 27 gun and 800 rounds of ammunition, what a man doing with 800 rounds of ammunition in his premises? 800 rounds of ammunition. Let me forget the gun for now. What would a man do with 800 rounds of ammunition? Especially that where ammunition have a particular durability. What he doing with 800 rounds? Is it to say that ammunition is being sold somewhere? Is it to say that guns are being rented out somewhere? What is really going on? We're going for the break and we're coming back. What is really going on in this country? When we come back, more. So yes, we are back. So I'm now learning that the Prime Minister went and opened the Carnage fish fry today. So Archie, he outside, he make an appearance. But let's see what's happening furthermore there. But let us not stray at this point in time. You see, ladies and gentlemen, why every good friend that we know about of the Prime Minister, Al-Wari, and others in the cabinet, why all these good friends is under some sort of investigation? That is what I want to know.
I want to find out which police would call this police, and they say 2 senior police
officers.
So is this part of the Cosa Nostra?
Well, I come in there, you know, 7:30, where we is? We closer to 8. I come in there with the Cosa Nostra just now. So, why it is that the Prime Minister pardoned them, the police had to zero in, gather information, and do what they have to do. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr.
Good night, sir.
Good night. All I would like to say is long live Vladimir Putin. That's all I would like to say.
Say again, I didn't hear it too clear.
I said long live Vladimir Putin.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Roberts.
Miss Santa Cruz, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Under the weather, but I'm still okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Good evening, Mr. Corky, and to Archie, and to everybody out here.
Good night, good night.
So, he sneaked into the country. He went and opened fish fries today, but didn't have the decency to address the nation as to why he was outside here so long. Because he don't want anybody questioning him as to what Foster Cummings with the plagiarism, as to this man Amo with the lion.
Yeah.
That's right. And now with this thing with his new best friend.
Yeah.
He don't want to be questioned about anything because we were all prepared for the cuss and the distraction. And like he smelled the rat, he didn't bother to come and talk to anybody today. But that was so distasteful for a prime minister. And you're not hearing a word from the media, from nobody who was so vociferous when Kamala Prasad's sister was there. They didn't have a problem asking her if she was having an affair with Rishi Ramnarayan. But they're afraid to talk to Rowley. They're afraid. They see the difference. They see the big difference. But don't worry, let me see how long he's going to hide. How long he's going to hide. And I want to remind people about something Dr. Munilal said on the platform during the run-up to the election, the internals.
Yeah.
When he said, when he was at some airport, he was pulled over. He said he was a bit worried because he wanted to know why they pulled him over. But they didn't want to talk about him. They wanted to talk about Rowley.
Yeah.
Now, we thought it was Pekong. But all the development now realized it was Pekong. Dr. Munilal was speaking the truth. And I want to know, just the same way how we want to know who is the short, stocky, ugly man with the short ras that meddling with children? Who is the senior government official that the FBI was questioning? Inquiring minds want to know. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you, Miss Santa Cruz. Thank you. So since you're on that point, Miss Santa Cruz, let us get into the second segment. And the second segment, last night, I asked a question on radio. I was asking the Prime Minister to tell us if he was questioned on his last visit to the United States of America, if he was questioned by any FBI or any law enforcement agency in the United States. I am asking the Prime Minister that question. I am also asking the Prime Minister if he, Prime Minister, have a bank account in, a matter of fact, on American soil. And while I'm asking the Prime Minister if he was questioned by any law enforcement agency, and if he have a bank account in the US, I also want to ask Deuki Singh if he have any joint account with anybody in the United States of America. I see a paper appear on the screen here. Beneficiary recipient information. I seen a document on the screen. And I mean, my eye ain't so 100, but I have my glasses here. I didn't have it last night, but I have it tonight. And I also seen Formula 1 trading. Who is Formula 1 trading? Beneficiary recipient information. Formula 1 trading. Who is Formula 1 trading? And I also seen beneficiary account number. It look like /18AN. and are seeing 114515. That is what I also seeing. And I also seeing down in the bottom, I seeing two names. I seeing some VIDYA, which sounds like Vidya, and I also seeing DEOKIESINGH, which sounds like Dilki Singh, and in the bottom of that I am seeing KEITH, which sounds like Keith, and I'm also seeing ROWLEY, which sound like some kind of Rowley. So I am asking some questions here this afternoon. I am asking the Prime Minister if during, or a matter of fact, let me make it more broad. I am asking the Prime Minister if he was ever questioned by any U.S. agent in or out of Trinidad in relation to any foreign account if he is in possession of one. And I am asking Dilki Singh if he is the recipient of any joint account with anybody, locally or internationally. That is where my question lies this afternoon. And this information that I am seeking, I am hoping that the Cosa Nostra, I am hoping that members of the Cosa Nostra, the Mafia Code, where we must keep each other secret, and if you breach the secret,
Mafiosi code, we keep each other secret. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and for that, we're going to kill you politically.
Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there, Archie. I have an important question. So here is my question now. Why was Nicole Olivieri fired from being the Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs? Is it to say that Nicole Olivieri went out there and exposed a secret, and for that she was killed politically? That is my question here this evening. Because you see, Nicole Olivieri, I was told, allegedly allow the fake oil investigation to take place under her watch. And while that fake oil investigation was going on, Nicole Olivieri was fired. So is it a case where Nicole Olivieri break ranks with the Cosa Nostra and expose the secret, and for that she was murdered politically? Is that the reason? Because I remember that when Nicole Olivieri was fired from being the Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, there was no information. No information was forthcoming as to why she was removed as the minister. I remember coming out of the Prime Minister office was a statement that says that the Prime Minister was making change in the energy sector. So that is what I want to know. I want to know if she was killed politically because she went out there and allowed a secret where the auditors said that this was happening since in 2016. The auditors went back and say in their report that there was discrepancies in relation to that situation back in 2016. In 2016, I want to ask another pertinent question. I want to ask, when was Vidya Deuki Singh appointed to that position, the last position in which she was sacked, that resulted in this fake oil scandal? When was Deuki Singh appointed to that position? When was he appointed to that procurement section? Tell us when. Give us the date. Give us the year. You must tell us, Mr. Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, you must explain to this country why your board and your government did not appeal the arbitration when Deborah Peake, the senior counsel who fought on behalf of Petrotrin, said that the arbiters I want the country to remember how these arbiters was appointed. One was appointed. One was the choice of AV Drilling. The next one was the choice of Keith Rowley, good friend Michael Commoner board. And the other one, Petrotrin board and AV Drilling agree for the third one. So it was a case where Rowley partner appointed one. A case where Rowley board appointed the second one. And a case where Rowley partner and Rowley board appoint the third one. That was the criteria used to put and select 3 arbiters to arbitrate on that fake oil scandal. That was the method used. Added to that, Deborah Peake, who represented Petrotrin in the matter, she put out an 8-page document telling the country, telling the government, and telling Petrotrin, the board of Petrotrin, which was appointed by Keith Rowley, that the arbiters, they breached the section which they themselves set out to conclude that arbitration. They breached their own sections, their own rules, their own guidelines, and came up with a verdict where Bash was victorious. Deborah Peake begged this country to appeal that decision. She pleaded with this country with 8 pages. She pleaded, please save the taxpayers. Appeal that decision. Saddam Hussein, while time was running out, MP Saddam Hussein asked Keith Rowley whether or not the government intends to heed Deborah Peake's advice. Rowley stood up in the parliament and said to Saddam and to this country that was a matter for Petrotrin. It is not a matter for the government. That is a Petrotrin issue. But ladies and gentlemen, I beg to remind you that when Malcolm Jones was in court and Malcolm Jones had to pay back this country hundreds of US millions of dollars, it was Keith Rowley and Faris Alwari who went and withdrew that matter from the Privy Council. You see, at that time, it was not a matter for Petrochin. It was not a matter for Petrochin board. And this case, it was a matter for Keith Rowley and Faris Alwari. But when coming to save the taxpayers, the burden of paying millions of dollars to every drilling, it was all in a sudden a matter for Petrochin, and it was not a matter for Keith Rowley and Faris Alwari, who had just withdrew the matter from the Privy Council in relation to that man who was just on the screen, Malcolm Jones. It was a PNM matter because it was in the interest of a PNM, Malcolm Jones. And I am saying that there were no withdrawal that there were no appeal in A&V drilling matter, because I want Archie to play that song. Play that song, Archie. Let them hear the voice. Run it. Great is the PNM, man. You hear what the man say? Stuart T. Rowley, I love all you like how hog love mud. He say if a guy's only the N-word could whine. He's not only alone could whine. We whining now. All you whine, boy, whine away on them taxpayer dollar. Boy, throw waste on them taxpayer dollar. Get them bamboo. Every drilling, get them bamboo. Let it take bamboo. You see, that is how the thing work. You know why? You know why there was not any appeal forthcoming? Because every drilling is a PNM. He's a PNM too. He said he's a PNM, so it had no appeal. Just like how they withdrew the matter from PNM, Malcolm Jones. And let me tell you something. Every PNM who is under investigation in this country, as long as Keith Rowley government in power, there will be no justice, there will be no fairness in this country as long as Keith Rowley in power. That is the Cosa Nostra. We protect each other's secret.
A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and for that, we're going to kill you politically. It's the code of the Cosa Nostra. As long as we stay together, we will survive together. And we agree not to breach the code of secrecy.
All you hear that? All you hear, all your prime minister, you know what is sickening about that whole thing? A bunch of PNM idiots laughing and clapping when this man talk this barrel at tutu. The barrel at tutu, those idiots clapping. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Victor Robets.
Good night, sir.
It's something that I hear my party will be saying, and I was getting mad about hearing that. One always say that about just PNM. PNM on the whole in general from a record to now is failure. You understand? Because when I see my party keep saying that this PNM and PNM, let's think after you see, for example, the next election, or just now they're going to prime whoever is next leader, and then they're going to say, well, yes, well, we have a next leader because they say this about Rowley, and Rowley is bad and this and this, but we have a new leader now. Stop saying that PNM is the problem in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Not this PNM on the whole.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. And caller, you're right. You are right, caller. You are perfectly right. This is what we take in this country for governance. Watch a prime minister telling you, as long as we stay together, and we keep each other's secret, and that is why no justice could be forthcoming. That is why Foster could be dancing on earlier. Watch Foster. Hey. I never get weary yet. I never get weary yet. I spending the taxpayers' money every day and I never get weary yet. Sing it, brother. Never get weary yet. Never get weary yet. I spending the taxpayers' money every day, but I never get weary yet. Watch them, watch them. Money! Yay! Yay, taxpayer! Yay! Yeah! Give them the bell, man. Give them the bell. That is what is happening. Allegations. And you see, since the other day, I say something to talk about them religious people, you know. But I ain't ready yet, and all you can make me talk before time. I ain't ready yet. But this is why we are in this condition. We are in this condition, ladies and gentlemen, because of the Cosa Nostra, because of the Mafia Code. And the Cosa Nostra exists because Keith Christopher Rowley had appointed individuals in strategic position to keep the secret tight. Keep it tight. Very tight. And the secret so tight that when a little whisper come out, they have the sweeper. The sweeper is the final cleaner. The sweeper is the man with the mop and the broom. The sweeper is the man that sweeps everything under the carpet while he tell you it is under investigation. The sweeper is the man who in the position, even while he say he didn't apply for the job, but nevertheless he get the job. So he's sweeping everything under the carpet. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Good night, sir.
Now, these people took an oath of office, and then they pilfer the treasury, and they rob the country blind.
Huh.
They could be charged under the Treason Act. And why I'm saying that, the Treason Act attracts the death penalty. So we can hang them for their treasonous ways.
Huh.
They took an oath to protect the children in the orphan homes.
Oh, Lord.
And they molested the children.
Oh, Lord, caller. Huh.
Treason. We could hang them. I want the opposition leader to come out and a manifesto and say that she's going to pursue them under treason. We don't need a law to hang these people.
Huh.
They cannot continue to breathe air. They cannot. And he will never get weary yet when we shove him in the crematorium.
Huh.
That is where he needs to go, in a crematorium. He never get weary. And you see, all of them were supporting him. And all of them who put the bread that the devil need in their mouth, we're using them as fuel. Good night, Senator. Good night, Mr. Robert.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution. The sweeper, one of the most deadly in the Cosa Nostra is the sweeper. The sweeper sweep everything under the carpet while he portray to the listening public, and while he captivate your eardrum by saying that it's under investigation. But while it is being said it is under investigation, there is no tangible evidence to see anything being investigated as we continue to hear it's under investigation. We have had so many that I made mention of earlier, so many investigations, and the sweeper continue to sweep. And when he lost confidence in a sweeper, he get rid of them by any means necessary. Welcome, caller.
Good evening again, Mr. Robert.
Yes, Ms. Santa Cruz.
I heard a caller just a little while ago talking about if Keith Rowley resign and they bring in Penny, then people will vote for Penny. But we know that. But we have to keep up the pressure to remind everybody that Penelope Beckles sat down in a cabinet and watched 216 recusals.
Huh.
People benefiting in billions of dollars. And she didn't say a word. She sat there and she saw procurement being butchered, and Penny didn't say a word. So if it is that they want to go and put back a PNMite again, they will take again what they get in.
Of
right?
course.
They will take it, and you have somebody on your chat saying that UNC not good for this country. That is only BS we talking. No, you see, when we are speaking the truth, it's BS to PNMite because they don't want to hear the facts, not FAX. You understand? We don't bring FAX. It's FACTX we bring here for them, and that is what they don't like. All the wrongdoings that going on in the PNM right now, and Penny is not saying a word. All of them sat down here. And you're talking about a sweeper. The biggest sweeper in the PNM is Camille Robinson-Regis, because she is there as head of the FAB to cuss everybody and demonize everybody who talk about her prime minister, who talk about her political leader. She and Laura Lazama. You understand? Those are the sweepers that sweeping everything under the carpet. Because look at it. Look at how much wrong thing going on, and nobody's saying a word. And then they better don't take God out of their thoughts and put back that man again. It's a shame and a disgrace that the Minister of Education is saying that 9,000 children failed the SCA. Because of who? And the rest of them didn't even do so good. Because of who? Keith Rowley and the laptop programs. And then people want to come and say UNC is not good for this country. UNC had a vision for this country, and Keith Rowley single-handedly destroyed every single thing. They don't know about diversification or nothing. They laughed at Mrs. Prasad Bissessar, and now look at them. They're struggling. They can't even make 2 ends meet. And before I leave, I want to tell Paula Gopi-Schooning, you all have no shame. She's the next one, coming to tell us that quite March next year, right? Then they're going to license the homes and them. So in the meantime, all the pedophiles and them must continue to ply their trade. Thanks a lot, Mr. Victor.
Thanks, Ms. Santa Cruz. The final sweeper is the man who come out and tell you that an investigation is ongoing. An investigation is ongoing. An investigation is ongoing. The final sweeper, the most deadly of them all, is one who have the authority to act constitutionally, to uphold the law, and to ensure that justice prevail. And when that sweeper is a member of the Cosa Nostra, then it tells you, Trinidad and Tobago, that justice will not be served or appear to be served. That is where we are. That is where we are. Welcome, caller.
For listening audience. You know what concerns me a whole lot is that your program is very excellent. I must commend you. From yesterday, your program has been improved. But there's a great concern on my part, and that part is when your program is here, whatever is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, this international media is taking this so. You understand? You have it on Facebook, you may have it on the other media, you have it locally, but what is taking it like as is the US going? And this is a problem we have in this country. The Guardian has been able to control Al Jazeera so they can't get them. And you have to look at that. You have to get what you do on the international forum so the people of Trinidad and Tobago benefit. And we can get this thing resolved to have an early election to remove this government from power. Thank you, my brother. You're doing well. Good night.
Thank you for your contribution, caller. That is the deadly part. The cover-ups, the blanket, the raincoats. Right? That is what's happening. So let's go to the next section now, actually, because it's 8:11. Let's go to the next section. You understand that there's a rumor that Keith Rowley wants to become president. You understand that rumor is heavily circulating. And there is some merit along the line within that rumor that this may very well be so. But the question can be asked is why? Why? Is it because we have had a Tobagonian as Prime Minister and President? Is that the ambition of Keith Rowley? I am asking, is that the ambition of Keith Rowley? Or is there hidden agendas as to why becoming the president is so important? Is there hidden agendas? That's why the ambition of becoming the president is so important. But before I go here, I want to go back there. My question for tonight, I ask the Prime Minister, if at any time he were questioned by any U.S. authority, whether locally or internationally. And my second question was asking Dewki Singh if he have any joint account with anybody in any foreign land. That is my questions of tonight. But why it may be so important for the ambition of the Prime Minister to become the president? Let's examine some facts and see if we can put together why that ambition may very well be of utmost importance. Under Section 38 of the Constitution, first of all, the president cannot be investigated by any other authority except by setting up a tribunal. Let's take this call before I get back here. Welcome, caller.
Hey, Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir.
You know, man does make plans here, but God does decide. So if we only have plans for president, whether it's you Almighty God decide who is what. But what I want to tell you, the last time the opposition leader spoke on television, I saw that before the internal elections. She said she never seen nothing so strange in all her life in the parliament. And the way she said it, so strange, like some phenomenon. She said, after this, I think that this idiot talk on Mohamed Gonzalez, a UNC member got up and he spoke. And nobody else want to get up and talk. You know why, Mr. Robert? Like a God shining on UNC. And they can't face up to it. They finish. When the opposition leader said that, I look at her face. He said, I've never seen nothing so strange in all my life in the parliament. Not a man want to get up.
Yeah.
Right? So I just bringing that to your attention, you know. So only could make all the plans, you know, it's what God decide.
I appreciate.
Right, thanks.
Right. Archie, I want to just hold on all the calls for just a little bit. Let me just go through this section of the Constitution. Under Section 38 of the Constitution, the president cannot be investigated by any other authority except by setting up a tribunal under Section 36 of the Constitution. So we're looking at the ambition of becoming the president. So one, the president cannot be investigated by any other authority except by the setting up of a tribunal. Section 36(1). The president shall be removed from office where a motion that has, and let me explain this carefully so we'll take a little time to understand it, because this is of utmost importance as to how we can remove the president in any given way, and at the same time to try to understand why let me decline the call, Archie. When I get in the call, they show that this person not on the live and is an important person, so I had to decline that call. Right. So this is very important. So Section 36(1) tell us that the president cannot be removed from office where a motion that has removed from office should be and must be investigated by a tribunal in order to be removed from office. Must. So a motion that has removal from office should be investigated by a tribunal is proposed in the House of Representatives. B. The motion states with full particulars the grounds on which his or her removal, now it have his, but I add in her in this case, Archie, because the president there now sitting as a woman, okay? So it tells us that the motion states with full particulars the grounds on which his removal from office is proposed and is signed by not less than 1/3 of the total membership of the House of Representatives. C. The motion is adopted by the vote of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the Senate and the House of Representatives assembled together. D. A tribunal consisting of the Chief Justice and 4 other judges appointed by him, the Chief Justice, being as far as practicable. Let me just go up here a little bit. As far as practicable, these judges will have the authority to investigate the complaint and report on the facts to the House of Representatives. E. The Senate and the House of Representatives assembled together on the summons of the Speaker. Now we're going to come back to some key figures here. The Senate and the House of Representatives assembled together on the summons of the Speaker, considered the report, and by resolution supported by the vote of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the Senate and the House of Representatives assembled together, declared that he shall be removed from office. 2. When a motion is adopted, as is provided for in subsection 1A and B and C, the president shall cease to perform any of his functions or her function as president, and the president of the Senate shall act temporarily as president. 3. The procedure of the tribunal shall be such as is prescribed by. Subject to such procedure, the tribunal may regulate its own procedures. 4. Upon the adoption of the resolution in accordance with subsection 1E, the office shall become vacant. Section 38(1). Subject to section 36, the president shall not be answerable. We coming down now to the brass tacks. of why the ambition of president is of such importance at this point in time. Listen me again. We coming down to brass tacks where you will be able to understand why the ambition for presidency at this point in time, it's so critical. Listen to this section. If you have not listened to anything else, listen to this section clearly. I will take my time with it. I want you to understand it. I want you to see where it's going, and I want you to see why the ambition is so important. So let's go. Section 38, 1, subject to section 36. The president shall not be answerable to any court for the performance of the function of his or her office, or for any act done by him or her in the performance of those functions. Fair enough. Fair enough. Pay attention. Pay attention. 2. Without the fiat of the director of public prosecution. This big word simply means without the director of public prosecution intervening and giving some sort of direct command or answer or sanctioning what should happen in relation to this occasion. No criminal proceedings shall be instituted or continued against the president in any court during his term of office, and no process for the president's arrest or imprisonment shall be issued from any court, or shall be executed during his term in office. No arrest, no imprisonment, no court can prosecute while the president holds the title of president. And listen to this part. No civil proceedings which relief is claimed against the president shall be instituted during his term of office in any court in respect of any act done by him in his personal capacity, whether before or after he entered the office of the president, except on the condition specified in subsection 4. So the president and the ambition for president at this point in time, for any corrupt prime minister, it is the ideal form of protection. While that individual holds the title of president, that individual would not be prosecuted for any act by any court which he had done before becoming president or during that process, or a matter of fact, that individual is safe like Selassie briefcase from any form of corruption, misbehavior, money laundering, thievery, any form. That individual would be protected while that individual holds the title of president. That is why the ambition for president at this point in time, it is critical by any corrupt individual, whether it be minister, prime minister, anybody, critical to become the president when there is a bag of wrongdoing latch on to your back. Becoming the president of this country, it protects you, it safeguards you, it keeps you safe during that period from any form of persecution by any court, as long as you could hold the title. And if you could hold the title until death, then it's free sailing from any jail for you. That is as critical as it gets. That is as important that office, the weight that office carry when you hold that title of his or her excellency. And that is why, even with all the misbehavior that we had in relation to the Police Service Commission, no charges of misbehavior in public office can be brought against the president. And that is why it was so important when the opposition tried to get the Speaker of the House to do her job. But I want to go back to some things here that we must touch on. Something of utmost importance. So let me just scan through here quick. The president shall be removed from office where a motion that removed him from office shall be investigated by a tribunal. The motion states where the particular grounds which revealed, not there. The motion that voted, not there. The tribunal, this is the part I want to get to. A tribunal consisting of the Chief Justice and 4 other judges appointed by him, the Chief Justice. So listen, the tribunal, it must consist of the CJ, and then the CJ will have the authority to appoint 4 other judges. 4 other judges. Now, the judges that the CJ will appoint in any given tribunal in relation to impeaching the president, it is by his discretion. So the Chief Justice will seek 4 judges of his choice, and they will consist and convene the tribunal. Now, I want to ask a question. If we should have a Chief Justice, not saying that we do, but if we should have a Chief Justice who is a PNM stalwart, And if this Chief Justice, whoever he may be, being a PNM stalwart, selects 4 other PNM judges to sit on a tribunal to impeach a PNM president, but at the same time, the Speaker of the House who have to call the House of Representatives together and who have to consider the report, and by resolution supported by the vote of not less than 2/3. But in but in that scenario that I am creating, we also may have a Speaker of the House who is also a PNM. And at the same time, we may very well have a great part of the electoral college, which consists of all the senators, all the members of parliament. But let's say in that case, we have the independent senators who are also PNM senators. So we have, in that case, a PNM Chief Justice. And in that case, that I am imagining, we also have a PNM Chief Justice appointing 4 other PNM judges to sit on this tribunal. And as we go along, we have the PNM Speaker and the PNM independent senators together with the PNM senators and the PNM MP. Where do we go from there? You grasp that scenario? If you grasp that scenario, I want to tell you now why the Cosa Nostra exists within this PNM party. I want to ask some questions, some serious questions. 1, we had the Law Association who had brought serious allegations in relation to the sitting Chief Justice. Careful now, Victor. Careful now. We had the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago seeking to get a tribunal set up to investigate the sitting Chief Justice of our country. The Prime Minister who also have some authority in making that final decision, refuse. Refuse. Sometime next week, I am going to release a video conference which took place a couple weeks ago. When that is released, you judge for yourself. Right now it's flying coming in. It's flying coming in. And it's supposed to land here sometime late next week. And when it lands late next week, please the Lord, you judge for yourself. But let's move on. So the law association failed. And what happened? Judge for yourself. That is one. Two. Bridget and he said, George, the Speaker of the House, at this point in time, Bridget and he said, George, we have seen the Speaker contravene her own guidelines within the Parliament to avoid answers to questions that are being placed there in relation to serious allegation and misconduct with PNM MPs. We have seen this Speaker perform the most amount of bias in that should be sacred house of the Parliament. have seen the Speaker of the House degrade the Speaker chair even while she is on her feet. And the standing orders will show that when she is on her feet, even the Prime Minister needs to take a seat. Instead, what we have seen the Speaker take her seat while the Prime Minister rant and rave and pelt insults of at the opposition in the Parliament, where she ought to be in charge. We have seen the Speaker debate pertinent questions that will bring justice to the people of this country by shutting them down and not entertaining those questions, which is the civic right of the opposition to bring to the Parliament a place where justice and equity ought to be displayed.
As a member of Parliament in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, you're always talking about Guyana and Barbados. If you're unhappy here, you're free to go. Nobody has tied you here.
Yes, take your seat.
Don't come and talk to me about me.
Take your seat.
I am the Prime Minister.
Take your seat. And he said, George, take your seat. An embarrassment to CARICOM. An embarrassment to every parliamentary system in the world. This Speaker is an embarrassment. But the Cosa Nostra continue. The Cosa Nostra continue. So let's continue. The President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Paula may or may not Weeks, whichever one. The President of this country conspire. I could imagine what used to take place in that Bishop Tea Party. I could only imagine what used to take place in that Bishop Tea Party. This president conspire with the King Cosa Nostra. King Cosa Nostra, this president conspire and rip apart and mash up the whole Police Service Commission. That president mash it up today because of that president action with King Cosa Nostra. Crime totally out of control. Blood flowing on the streets like when rain falling. Blood flowing on the streets like when rain falling. King Cosa Nostra, king. Mash it up. We're moving again. We're moving again. The sweeper. Put them back there, Archie. Put them back. Put them back. One missing. Two missing from there. Two missing from there. The first two missing. Put them there too if you could find them. The Chief Justice missing from there, and the Speaker of the House missing from there. You could move me aside. People, you want to see me, push me one side and see if you could fit them up there. Fit them up there nice. Push me somewhere down in a corner on that side also. So we have the acting commissioner of police. The acting commissioner of police. When you put Chief Kosanotra, when you put the Chief Justice, when you put the President of the Republic, you put the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and then you put the acting commissioner of police. I know all they're waiting to hear, you know. All they're waiting for me to say, Demeziko Sanocha. I ain't saying that. All you can't get me to say that. What I'm going to say though is that them is the most powerful people in this country. That is what I'm going to say. Them the Speaker missing there and Archie missing there. Them five. You know, when we growing up, we used to hear about the Fantastic Seven. Well, them five individuals, I want to see them, you know. Actually, if you could only find them and put them there for me, boy. Right, I want the people to see them. I have a reason why I want the people to see them. Because I want to say so. Yeah, right. One more missing. I want, and we go open up the phone lines after because we come into our end just now. I want the next one to jump in there. Them is the five most powerful individuals. So let me fix it properly here. Let me fix it properly. Those are the five most powerful offices in this country. And I'm going to add the sixth now. I'm going to add the sixth now. The sixth individual I am going to add inside of there. And the sixth individual, Archie, number 6, is Roger Gaspar, the Director of Public Prosecution. That is the 6 individuals that I want to see on the screen. Because I have one thing to say after that. And we will take some phone calls. We'll open the line 3735488 after. 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 3735488 af Nobody knows why I laughing, huh? Nobody. Nobody knows why Victor Robets laughing here right now. Well, let's think it's easy to bait a fish. It ain't easy to bait a fish in this country. That is the 6th individual. Let me tell you something here this evening. Those are the most 5 powerful office in this country. Forget the Attorney General. Forget he. He's just a pawn. You see that 5 there? That 6 there, sorry. The most powerful offices in this country, these individuals hold. The most sophisticated, the most strategic, right there. Right there. That's 6 I'll see in there. You know what I like to see inside of there? Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir. Good day.
I want to respectfully add chairman of the EBC to that list.
You want to?
I respectfully add the chairperson of the Elections and Boundaries Commission to that list.
Not a problem.
They have to be there. That is a magnificent 7.
Well, the president responsible for that caller.
Here on the advice of the Prime Minister.
Right.
Just like all the rest of them.
So, caller, what you feel missing in that list?
The chairwoman from the EBC.
All right.
She missing from that list. And you know who missing from that list? The very silent, non-PNM, PDP, Tobago, General Secretary, Chief Secretary of Tobago right now, who is not giving us any information about that airport corruption in Tobago and the Sandals corruption in Tobago and all the money that's not accounted for in Tobago. Suddenly he get pipped. Somehow or the other, sorry for the fella, he gets pipped. And Watson Duke trying to feed Trinidadians on Brian Lara Promenade with stale bread. Pip. All of them, pip. Waste our time. You know, having regard to that, and you can't trust these people, UNC need to establish two UNC seats, the 2 Tobago seats in Tobago. Regardless of the fact that they won't win, at least Tobagonians have no excuse. They had the opportunity to, and they didn't.
Very well said.
I say give them the opportunity.
Very well said, caller. Very well said.
I feel that Silver Fox and them will find 2 good candidates, 2 genuine people, 2 earth people, 2 people who have respect of the Tobagonians and who understand the vision of the UNC and become part of that. Do not rely on coalition from the Tobago. Do not. Because it is those said 2 Tobagonian seats that have us in opposition and have the country where it is today, you know, in the toilet.
Well said, caller. Thank you very much. Well said.
They have to establish 2 UNC seats in Tobago. Must.
Thank you. 373-5488 is the number to call. Short and sweet, because we're wrapping up. You know, I watching this composition here. I think I now understand what Rowley meant when he said he is a proud black man. I think I understand here today fully what that meant. Welcome, caller.
Good night, my brother. I'm going to tell you, the next episode of Cesar and Toby, listen to what I'm telling you tonight. Forget all them people and powerful people in the country. But the most powerful person in electing a president of the country is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Right? I would like the whole nation to be the next president. And if he's smart, he will also be the next executive president of Trinidad and Tobago. Good night to all these people in this nation. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Good night. You have a next call, Leach? I think I understand what Rowley meant when he said he's a proud black man. I think I understand clearly. I think I've seen the picture clearly. And I think I've seen why we are where we are. Very, very simple. Welcome, caller.
Well, good night, Victor, again, and all the other listeners. Victor, what is troubling, I hope the country is not stupid, as this man told them, that people of Trinidad and Tobago is stupid. Are they going to put me as president? Will the tone of his voice that he will show dignity, love, care, and concern because he have opposed him? Do you think our people are stupid and are they going to put him there? Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, caller. So I would like you, Trinidad and Tobago, as I wrap up here tonight, I would like for you, Trinidad and Tobago, to see if you could help me look into this country to find who are those members of the Cosa Nostra. Welcome, caller.
Good night, okay. Mr. Robets.
Yes,
good night,
sir.
Principal.
Good night.
Then, I have one thing to add in to the list all the others.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In the DPP office, the Honorable Manuel Bixon for Rowley. And I want to know if the public can get together and vote against Mr. Rowley as president.
Thank you, caller. That is what I want you guys to do. See if you could help me find who are those members of this great Cosa Nostra. See if you could help me find them. But I'm saying to you guys that these people here, they hold the most powerful office in this country. Welcome, caller.
Yes, good afternoon. I think time is short. So can you just text me your number? I will get in contact with you after the show or further on somewhere along the line. Thank you.
No problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up here this afternoon, I want you to keep in mind these people on this screen holds the most 5 important office in this country. Take it out. You can take this last one. Welcome, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller. You are the last caller. Go ahead. Make your point quickly. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I close tonight. But I ask you to remember that these faces, these individuals, holds the most powerful office in this country that we call Trinidad and Tobago. Do not forget that. Good night.
a code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and for that, we're going to kill you politically. It's the code of the Cosa Nostra. As long as we stay together, we will survive together. And we agree not to breach the code of secrecy.
Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing up to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got places down to the max. And when we tell them all, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR